currently like midnight. I've got my desk light shining this way to try and make the lighting better, and I thought I would, you know, talk a little bit about my writing this year while reorganizing my nasty bookshelves. Hello, I'm Sophie. Welcome back to my channel. And as I said, today I'm going to be talking about all the writing I've done this fine 2020 while reorganizing my bookshelves to accommodate for all the books I got for Christmas. This was actually my first full year of writing. Like, I actually seriously writing, because I technically started like actually writing books, or a book, in June or July of 2019, and then it really kicked off this year, you know, with the whole pandemic and whatnot. So that's wild. I've been technically writing since maybe 3rd or 4th grade. None of it's good. You can go watch the video where I read some old writing that I've done, but I've never taken it very seriously. Summer 2019 is when it actually started being a serious thing that I was doing. So 2020 is the first full year I have been writing, and a lot has happened. Let's get into deshelving the books though. Look how big this this version of Little Women is. Oh, down here, at least here, are like my school books, or like really old books that I got just because they're like vintage. I'm gonna need more space. Okay, the Little Women kind of goes with this one. The original illustrated Sherlock Holmes. These over here are massive, like just books. Like I have a dictionary, a visual dictionary over here, chemistry textbook here, Winnie the Pooh, and then 2 goodnight stories for rebel girls, Women in Science, and the Hamilton book. The Hamilton musical book. This one. Gotta move Rosie. This next duo of shelves are, one, my classics, or anything that was vaguely classic-y. Now, this one over here, with my Halloween costume from last year, my little headpiece, I was Inkling Boy. This is my book series, which is quickly overgrown its little cubby here. For Christmas, I got the Percy Jackson series, super fun. That's the only series I got. The other ones, like these, and everything else, almost, I've read. Alright, now my 2 rainbow shelves. My friend got me this in like 5th grade, and I've kept it ever since. These are the only 2 that I committed to the rainbow. It starts with black over here, and it was supposed to end with white, but obviously the vanishing half is over there. I really need to read that book. Wow. I'm gonna try and rainbow this entire shelf, I think, because I film in front of it and I want it to look cute. I have not read this book yet. I tried and I quickly was like, no, I don't want to do this. Maybe I'll read Carry On beforehand and then read this one right after, so I can get in the headspace of the characters. Here's another book that I got for Christmas from my sister, because I love Devil in the White City, and this is the same author. I'm quickly being closed in though. These last 2. This one just holds an empty camera bag and a zoom lens. So, you know, nothing crazy here. But this one was my sort of hardback shelf because I don't have a lot of hardbacks. I don't like them, to be quite frank with you. I need to read this. I need to read it. But that shelf is empty. And while I empty the one behind me, this one I just got, it's just these two shelves. I'm going to talk about how this year started with my little baby, my little book baby, Project What. So this story, Project What, it technically started in December. I think December 2nd. Sorry, my script is down there. But it started technically December 2nd. And I thought I would write it in first person. Me write it in first person. Oh, look what I got for Christmas. Anyways, I was gonna write it in first person, and I got pretty far into chapter 1, into Audie's perspective. And I was like, no thanks. First person was not for me at the time, and it still kind of isn't. Quick interruption. These are some of my favorite books. I put Wilder Girls here mainly because it fit. I didn't not like it. I didn't really like the ending. But it fit, so I put it here. Anyways, oh my god. So I got pretty far in that, and I was like, no to the first person. So I swiftly switched to third, and draft 1 officially started in February of this year. This wonderful year. And draft 1 was completed on the second to last day of April. If you'd like to see that, I filmed for Camp Nano, in which, April, Camp Nano, in which I finished the draft. Then, through May and June, through May, I got the book printed out and sent to my house. And through the rest of May, I finished revising it. And then June, I started restructuring it for draft 2. Do you want to see what this looks? I don't know if I can, look at this. I've just got towers. I've got towers around me. I'm slightly threatened. So through June, I restructured it, added things to get it ready for draft 2. But I was gonna start that book for draft 2 in July, for July's Camp NaNoWriMo. But I want to go in order of time. So let's go back a bit to May, or technically April. So the day I finished Project What, or the day after I finished Project What, I realized I needed to fill this creative void that now existed because I wasn't writing anything anymore. And I sat down with my sisters in this very room and bothered them until I got a story premise from them, which might seem a little rude, but that story idea came to be Project Quest. And I literally got writing that project the day after I finished Project What. I have all 3 of Becca C. Smith's Riser Saga, and I haven't read book 3 yet. I keep forgetting. The day after I think April 30th, I sent the book out to get printed, and then that night I started writing Project Quest. So, I had these 3 Heroes of Olympus books before I had the Percy Jackson books. And I started to read them, and needless to say, I was a little lost. And for that story, the 0 draft was completed in a little over a month. Alright. That is all the books. I am very much cornered. We're gonna pivot, and I'll just keep going while I sort these. Okay, we're in front of the dresser now. Can you see how dirty my room is behind me? Not really. Those are all clean clothes in my laundry basket, by the way. Don't ask why I haven't folded them yet. I said I was gonna bring my script. Oh, it's on the bed. So this time was the peak of summer. We've been out of school since March because of COVID, and you know, my sleep schedule had finally solidified itself as being god awful, and my creative juices were really flowing. I finished 2 drafts, or I guess technically at this time I finished a draft, which never happened in my life, and you know, more ideas began to flow after I got Project Quest, because genuinely I didn't think I was going to be able to think of another story after Project What. Should I do this by color? I think I'm gonna do series, and then I'll do the rainbow ones. So, creative juices were flowing. Enter Project Glass. So, Project Glass, I conceptualized this story smack dab in the middle of May. And also, consequently, in the middle of my drafting of Project Quest. So I plotted it. It's one of my most viewed videos on this channel, so if you want to watch it. And I thought I would read this book. It's surrounded by too many books. I thought I would write this book as my NaNoWriMo novel. I thought I would wait and write it for NaNoWriMo. I did not. Instead, I ended up starting this novel in May. I think it was after I finished. No, it couldn't have been. Sometime around almost being done with Project Quest, and I ended up finishing it in around sometime around the beginning of August, because it was my side project while I was starting draft 2 of Project What, so it took a little longer than the normal 1 month thing that I seem to have going. Where are all my book series? Oh, I see them. So I started in May, ended in August. That's May, June, July, August. 4 months. 4 months to write that novel. But July rolled around, and July was wild. July was, once again, in the peak of summer, in the peak of quarantine, in the peak of my creative high. And I worked on all 3 of these projects. I finished Act 1 of Draft 2 of Project What. I finished revising the 0 draft of Project Quest, because I'd been holding off until July to revise it. And I wrote 10,000 words in Project Glass, which I ended up finishing a few days after camp ended. So that's pretty cool. They're at the bottom. They're at the bottom. Gotta get up. Speaking of series, I realized sometime around here that Project What was going to be a trilogy. I did not know what was going to happen in those books, only that they were going to exist. Present me does technically know what's going to happen in those. Technically. I don't know exactly what's going to happen in the second book, so I'm going to put all my book box sets together. So now, at this point, I had 3 finished drafts, and you know, 2 were technically on hold. Project Quest, because it was done being revised. I had to start world building and restructuring again. And Project Glass, because I had finished the draft and it was on rest so I could revise it with somewhat fresh eyes. But you know, that's no fun. I need projects to work on, obviously. So the day I finished Project Glass, I started thinking a little bit more about the sci-fi that I wanted to write, which ended up being Project Star, and which I am still currently writing. And this sci-fi novel, I started in September to kick off No Wordy, which, you know, still going. It's a year-long thing, and which I am so very behind on. Also, in September, I decided that my fantasy novel, Project Quest, would be a 4-book series. So I ended up plotting all 4 of those, because I split the 0 draft that I already completed into 2 different books. That happened as well during September. I've got the basic plot the basic 15 beats for those 4 books. And then somewhere in between September and November, I started drafting 2 different very side projects that both of the ideas and the premises of these stories came up in dreams, and I've kind of just been very passively working on them. Like, if I have any inspiration for them, I'll work on them, but both of them have less than 5,000 words, so not much is getting done in those. But then, glorious NaNoWriMo came along, or I guess before that, Preptober. I'll get into that actually after I sort everything here into colors, because I got all my series. It's time to do the colors. Embarrassingly winded and sweaty after that because I had to move the books like 3 different times in order to get them to all fit, because I took out all of my favorites to put them over here because there simply just is not enough space. So I'm gonna stock these shelves with the remainder of my books being my favorites, the books that I'm currently reading in my reading vlog, or that I will be reading in my reading vlog, and my series while I finish up this video, essentially. Is this angle weird? I don't know. My tripod's been messy all day. I don't get it. Look how nice it looks, though. I didn't sort it perfectly by color. I kind of just shoved the books in and hoped for the best. So I'll fix the colors hopefully tomorrow. Who knows? Alright, where did I leave off on? Where did I leave off? Oh, Preptober and NaNoWriMo. Very exciting stuff. So, Preptober comes along, and I can finally work on Project End, a story that I thought up and began working on, technically, during June. I think on like the 1st of June I started working on that. Because, once again, I told you, summer was the peak of my creativity this year. It was crazy. I got so many ideas, and I started writing so many ideas, and I finished a lot of ideas. So, I've had that idea since June, and now I could finally completely flesh it out. So I prepped for all of October, which kind of fell a little bit into November, because at midnight I was doing some last minute character work, which is always great, and NaNoWriMo came around, and I finished the 0 draft of Project End in like 20 days. 30,000 words. It wasn't much, but I finished it in 20 days, and I filled up the rest of NaNoWriMo with my other 2 projects, draft 2 of Project What, and the 0 draft of Project Star. And I revised it in December, the month in which I am filming this, and the month in which this video is uploaded. So, not much of a choice. But that is currently where I am at. I am still drafting Project Star, and those 2 side projects that I was talking about. And I'm currently revising phase 1 of draft 2 of Project What, which, since the revision is almost done, I will have a revision vlog up pretty soon. Not pretty soon, because it's a lot of footage, but soon. So for some main stats, I guess, because, you know, gotta love stats. This year, I started 7 different drafts. You could technically count as 8, because I started both draft 1 and draft 2 of Project What this year. So I'll say I started 8 drafts this year, and I finished 4. I finished 4 drafts. I guess you could technically count it as 5 if you so please. But I'm not going to count draft 2 yet because it is only phase 1, which I guess means that the entire story is down, but like all of the elements that I wanted in the story aren't complete, so it's not a completed draft. I'm gonna say I finished 4 drafts this year. First, draft 1 of Project What, then the 0 draft of Project Quest, then Project Glass, and then my NaNoWriMo novel, Project End. That's pretty dope. I didn't expect that. That's a lot of novels. Alright, I'm gonna fix the shelf up here. Oh, whoa. The shelf up here. I'm gonna fix it up real quick and do the little outro part. Alright. This angle feels weird. That is it. My bookshelves are organized. It only took me, let's see, an hour and a half. Not bad, not bad. It is now 1:30 in the morning, which is pretty epic. But that is it. The bookshelves are organized, and I've hopefully talked through all of the writing I've done this year in a somewhat followable fashion. To recap, though, I'll just say Project What started technically in December of 2019, but the real first draft started in February, which I wrote throughout February, March, and April, and then finished it in April. Right after that, I started working on New Story, my fantasy, Project Quest, that I finished in about a month. And then during that time, I started plotting Project Glass, which I started writing during when I was finishing up Project Quest, and I finished that in August. I started draft 2 of Project What somewhere around that time, and once I was done with Project Glass, I started working on my sci-fi Project Star, which I started writing in September, which I'm still writing, and then NaNoWrimo started and finished Project End, and revised it, and now I'm technically finished with draft 2 of Project What. Not entirely, I will say that again, but technically I am, so that's pretty cool. But as you can tell, all of those are novels. Those are all novel or novella, based on length, stories. And hopefully next year, if I do something similar to this, probably not organizing my bookshelves, but, or maybe, I don't know, hopefully next year when I do a video like this, I will have short stories added to it, because I do intend on starting short stories next year. 2020 has been weird. Do I need to even say it? Do I need to say that for you to just, I can just say 2020, you could be like, ugh. And stuck at home, I really got to dive into this hobby, this passion, this thing, this creative endeavor, unlike I would have been able to any other year. So I think that's really cool that this was my first full year of writing. Maybe it'll set up expectations that will never be able to be met again, or it will set me up to manage my time better, to in turn live the same sort of stats as this year seemed to provide. I can't believe this is my first full year, technically, of writing. It feels like it's been so much longer, because technically, you know, I have been enjoying writing for so much longer, but it's been serious for so little time. But yes, that is all. These are my bookshelves now. They're quite cute, if I do say so myself. I will fix the colors a little bit so they blend a little nicer, but for now, these are them. This is it. Yes. So, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to me talk about my projects for however long this video is. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace. Oh no, the camera's so far.